bringing you the news 24 hours a day, 7 days per week, with a fresh approach. www.999wefm.com. WeFM News, online, on demand.
Good afternoon and welcome to WEFM's Midday News, brought to you with the kind compliments of Court St. Vincent Limited.
Switch to a ready cash loan today. Bring your loan to us and get 25% off your interest rate. Get flexible payment terms, fast approval, and hassle-free service, so you can do all the important things you need with ease. All you need is your ID, proof of address, payslip, job letter, and 2 references. Visit us in-store or apply online at www.shopcourts.com. Courts Ready Cash. We are ready when you are. Conditions apply.
Welcome back to WeFM's Midday News, brought to you with the kind compliments of Court St. Vincent Limited. I am your presenter, Rajiv Providence. First, on the local scene, the recidivism rate among prisoners of His Majesty's prisons who access rehabilitation programs has been proven to be lower. During an appearance on WeFM's Cop Chat program, Chief Prison Officer Seville Rodriguez said that though the prison's overall recidivism rate is high at 55%, the inmates' involvement in rehabilitation programs has provided a glimmer of hope. We hear more from the Chief Prison Officer.
Yes, well, regarding recidivism, we currently have a recidivism rate of 55%.
Wow.
Which is high.
Mm-hmm.
So that is simply saying for every 100 people.
55 are back.
But there's a glimmer of hope. The programs, the people who access the programs, the recidivism rate is actually lower among them. You will find that will be between 10 to 15%, which is not bad. I mean, I wish it could be lower.
That was the Chief Prison Officer at His Majesty's Prison, Seville Rodriguez. Mr. Rodriguez also noted that a prisoner's mindset plays a crucial role in what course their life takes after they're released from the prison system, saying that even if they are equipped with a skill, it will be up to them to make the most of it to avoid a return to prison. Police have arrested 2 men after they allegedly stole $30,000 in cash from the home of a local fisherman. According to police, 18-year-old Delroy Harry and 27-year-old Corey Anderson, both laborers, were arrested and jointly charged with the offense of burglary. A release from the RSVGPF's Public Relations and Complaints Department states that the 2 men allegedly entered the dwelling house of a 47-year-old fisherman of Barrowley as trespassers between midnight and 3:15 a.m. on September 16th, and stole $30,000 in cash, the property of the complainant. Harry and Anderson, residents of Otley Hall and Barrowley respectively, appeared at the Kingston Magistrates Court on Monday, November 13th, 2023, to answer the charge and pleaded not guilty. They were granted bail in the sum of $30,000 each with 1 surety. They were ordered to surrender all travel documents and report to the Central and Barrowley police stations respectively every Friday between the hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. Stop notices were placed at all ports of entrance and exit. The matter was adjourned to December 13th, 2023. Deputy Director of the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, Kenton Studdard, is urging Vincentians to take the necessary steps to prepare themselves in the event of a tsunami. Speaking on VC3's Roundtable Talk, Mr. Studdard said it was important that persons residing in St. Vincent and the Grenadines familiarize themselves with the information necessary to make preparations for a tsunami possible. We hear more from NEMO's Deputy Director.
And we should be guided by the events that took place in Tonga a few years ago. And so there's a possibility over time that this might present a rare threat to us. In fact, we have evidence in 1939 of small waves generated by an eruption of Kikum-Jenny. So we have to be prepared. We have to increase the knowledge, the awareness. We have to increase the planning and so on. We have to know what to do, what to look out for. So it's really important for us to get on board with this understanding of tsunamis and how we prepare and how we mitigate.
That was the Deputy Director of the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, Kenton Studdard. He noted that SVG is not immune to threats to livelihood and existence posed by tsunamis, as St. Vincent and the Grenadines has been affected by tsunamis 5 times throughout its history. On to news in the region. There are calls coming in for the significance of Memorial Day to be taught in Trinidad and Tobago schools. Retired Warrant Officer Hilton George led the call while speaking to members of the media following a wreath-laying ceremony for Memorial Day. He said that all students across the Twin Island Federation should be wearing poppies during the week. He also encouraged more young people to be a part of the protective services to serve their country. According to the National Archives of Trinidad and Tobago, the 11th of November is known as Remembrance or Memorial Day in Trinidad and Tobago. It is observed annually throughout the British Commonwealth as well as in other countries such as France and the United States of America. 5 people are now dead following a deadly crash in Westmoreland, Jamaica. Among those killed in the crash were 2 children and their respective mothers. The motor vehicle crash involved a taxi, which the women and children were traveling in, and a truck. According to Loop News, a Toyota Noah taxi ran off the road into a tree after colliding with a truck. 3 persons reportedly died at the scene of the crash, with 2 being rushed to the hospital. However, they both later succumbed to their injuries. The driver of the taxi who survived the crash reportedly fled the scene and is being sought by the police, who have indicated that they know his identity. On the international scene, as Israel's tanks close in, U.S. President Joe Biden says that Gaza's Al-Shifa hospital must be protected. President Biden said that he hoped that the Israeli military forces would take less intrusive action at Gaza's largest hospital, which medical staff say has been the target of Israeli bombing and snipers. The U.S. president said that there is an active effort to get a pause deal in place that will see the release of prisoners held by Hamas. According to Al Jazeera, President Biden's comments come as medics warned of mounting casualties among patients, including newborn babies at the hospital, which has been encircled by Israeli forces since Saturday. Witnesses on Monday reported that tanks and armored vehicles were positioned just meters from the gate of the medical complex, where staff say power outages, dwindling medical supplies, and Israeli bombardment have made taking care of patients next to impossible. Finally, in sports, Carlos Alcaraz has suffered a loss at the hands of Alexander Zverev in his ATP Finals debut. This is the first time that the 20-year-old Spaniard has lost 3 matches in a row since March 2021, when he ranked outside the world's top 100. According to BBC Sport, world number 2 Alcaraz missed last year's tournament with an abdominal injury and was making his debut at the season-ending men's event for the world's top 8 players. He had been hampered by foot and back problems last month and lost in his opening match at the Paris Masters on his return from injury. His shaky form continued on Monday as he struggled for consistency on the fast indoor hard court against Zverev. This has been WEFM's Midday News. I have been your presenter, Rajiv Providence. Join us again at 3 o'clock for WEFM's 3 p.m. News. WEFM's Midday News is brought to you with the kind compliments of Courts St. Vincent Limited.
Switch to a ready cash loan today. Bring your loan to us and get 25% off your interest rate. Get flexible payment terms, fast approval, and hassle-free service, so you can do all the important things you need with ease. All you need is your ID, proof of address, payslip, job letter, and 2 references. Visit us in-store or apply online at www.shopcourts.com.